if you believe that solutions exist, if there's a solution for racism, there's a solution for poverty, there's a solution for even what seem intractable problems like a lack of love and belonging in the world, and you can't personally think of the solution, but you believe it exists, then I think that it leads you straight to what she described, and that is the belief that, okay, well, there's a professor somewhere, there's a politician somewhere, there's a brilliant person somewhere who is right now working on this problem and coming up with a solution. And because I can't think of it, but I believe it exists, I have this faith that
Yeah.
it exists, then of course I'm going to put my faith, like you said, in the experts and just like they're going to get us out of this. Now, I think one of the best books ever written to combat this idea is The Lord of the Rings. And because what Tolkien is really trying to describe there is you have the experts, right? You have the experts like Gandalf, you have the experts like Elrond, you have the elves, but the heroes of the story are the working class people, essentially, the hobbits, right? And what Thomas Sowell was saying is that what people there's an intuition on the right, and that is that like that wisdom is really distributed through experience. And so if you're talking to somebody who's, the professor who's 50 years old, they still only have 50 years of experience. And so you're putting their 50 years of experience potentially against the intuitions of 1,000 working class people who are also 50 years old and also have 50 years of experience. And so somebody on the right is going to look at those 1,000 working class people who every single day have to deal with reality, when they're cutting a board and it's an inch too small and the thing that they built doesn't come together. They say to themselves, "Oh, man, I've got to measure, what is it? Measure twice, cut once." Like they start to develop all of these wise intuitions and instincts, and they start to apply those things to reality. Whereas this professor over here, who only has 50 years of experience and spends a lot of time reading philosophy and coming up with a vision of reality that is fairly abstract, there's a real intuition on the right that really doubts that because you've been reading philosophy and studying these things in the abstract, that you actually know how the real world works. You only really learn wisdom through experience, and that intelligence and wisdom are not the same thing. And so you have people, I think, on the left who are in academic institutions that are extremely intelligent, but they lack wisdom because they're not constantly testing their theories that are complex and brilliant and think these solutions, these ultimate solutions are actually possible. They're not, those ideas, those solutions are not making contact with reality. Whereas in the working class world, oftentimes there's a constant battle with reality that leads to wisdom. There are definitely a place for experts, but there's a problem with trusting in experts constantly to think that they're going to save all of us with their solutions and
Yeah.
distrusting the wisdom of ordinary people.